We finally have our first official look at the Fallout series, and holy shit, did they cook. Of course, over the last year or so, we've all seen the set picture leaks that looked absolutely amazing, but now we have our first official look at the upcoming Fallout Amazon series, and these pictures just look, again, nothing short of amazing. Now, coming from Vanity Fair, we have an entire article, sort of like an early review of this series, which I'm going to read over. The full article will be in the description below, but let's just get straight to it. In the new series coming on Amazon Prime Video on April 12th, a nuclear war breaks out across Earth in the year 2077, which is, or was, an era of robots, hovercars, and a deep and abiding nostalgia for the America of the 1940s. Everything from clothes to the entertainment to the vehicles mimic the look of that bygone age. So of course from this alone we know that they're really on track with what the world of Fallout should look like, which is great, but moving on. Mass extinction is just the starting point for Fallout. After the mushroom clouds, the story flashes forward 219 years. How did humanity fare over those blighted 2 centuries? Now this is extremely important to note that this series isn't too far away from Fallout 4's timeline, but more on that in a moment. Lucy, one of the lead characters played by Ella Purnell, has no clue. She has lived her entire life inside a vault, where every need and want has been satisfied, while generations and generations await the day when it's safe to surface. So again, classic Fallout here, and we now know officially that yes, Ella Purnell will be playing a main character, as we all suspected a while ago when she was first cast. She is one of the bigger names on the casting list, aside from Walton Goggins, who is probably the biggest name, but we'll get to him in a moment. Lucy is nice, but Lucy is naive. In the Fallout universe, the human beings fortunate enough to ride out the apocalypse in underground communities, aka vaults, only had that option available to them because they had money, forcing doe-eyed Lucy out into the sadistic remnant of civilization opens the door for Fallout to engage in some social satire as well as action and adventure. They also go on to say how this series has basically the same type of humour as the games, in that it gets very dark, and that Vault Boy will even have an origin story in this series, which sounds so ridiculous to me that I just love it. Now, probably one of the most important things to note is that yes, this series is canon to all of the games, or at least the games that are canon, so Fallout 1 to Fallout 4 and Fallout 76, those are the only canon Fallout games. But everything that happens here in this series is completely connected and lore-friendly to the games that we all know and love, and that's perfect, at least in my opinion. My interest would have lowered if this series wasn't canon, because then what the fuck am I watching it for, you know? And honestly, with how long it takes Bethesda to put out a new Fallout game and make any amount of new actual Fallout content, I'm so glad that we're finally getting some new canon media, even if it is just a TV series. But honestly, everything about this show looks great. Like, this picture of the Brotherhood of Steel in their power armor looks amazing, hence why I used it for the thumbnail. Now, people online have seen this picture going around of what very obviously looks like the Prydwen from Fallout 4, and as epic as this shot is, this is not the Prydwen. The article does confirm this right under the picture, where they call this blip the Kazwenen, I think is how you say it. I'm probably mispronouncing that, so I'm sorry if I am. Now, some other smaller stuff, but also heavily important to note, is that it was kind of obvious, but no, this series is not based on one of the games. This is a brand new story, which is great. I'd much prefer this than, say, Fallout 4 the series, you know? We also know, and have known for a while, that this series is set in Los Angeles. We also know that Lucy, seemingly the overall main lead of the show, is the daughter of Vault 33's overseer, and that, as expected, Walton Goggins will be playing a ghoul, but not just a ghoul, a gunslinging cowboy ghoul, which just sounds awesome. Goggins will be playing a gunslinging sinister bounty hunter known as the Ghoul, and not only this, the show apparently has flashbacks to Walton Goggins' character before he was a ghoul, which again just sounds amazing. Showing somebody slowly transforming into a ghoul just sounds like an amazing story in my opinion. The rest of the article pretty much just goes on to say how great the show apparently is, and how Todd Howard had a lot of influence on the show, and how they've really focused on the Fallout lore, being careful not to change anything and keep everything canon and nice and lore friendly. And honestly, I'm just gonna say it, and I'll put my hands out, and if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong, but I honestly think that this could be the single best video game adaptation in a movie or series ever. Everything about this looks good. Like, there's been no information about this series that I don't like, you know what I mean? And the only other good adaptation I can even think of is Sonic. I should note that I haven't seen the Mario movie, and that I thought The Last of Us was honestly a terrible adaptation. I know that that's an unpopular opinion, but when you look back at the original game, not any of the remasters, you know, before they changed everything to make the awful sequel make sense, it just wasn't a good adaptation, in my opinion at least. But this could really be one of the best adaptations ever, and I'm so excited to get into it. If this series is as great as we're all hoping, I really want to do spoiler episode discussions after every episode releases, you know, episode breakdowns and all of that usual stuff. Now, with this article coming out, I do have to wonder if we're going to get an official trailer at the Game Awards, because that has been rumoured for a hot minute now, and the trailer was actually leaked online a while ago. I mean, it's definitely possible, right? They're finally starting to promote this show a lot, so it could happen. But anyway, I heavily recommend checking out the full Vanity Fair article in the description. But before you do that, I will say there was some stuff I didn't go over, but honestly, that's because some of the stuff that they mentioned was low-key spoilery. Like, I would have liked to be surprised at some of the stuff that they were talking about in this article. It's not anything huge, but yeah, just a little warning for you there. Either way, if you enjoyed the video, I kindly ask that you leave it a like. It really helps out myself and the channel in more ways than you can imagine. And of course, if you do want to stay fully up to date on this TV series and just Fallout as a whole, and really just Bethesda games as a whole, consider subscribing. I've got you covered, everything from Elder Scrolls to Fallout and Starfield. We're also super close to 10,000 subscribers now, so if you do subscribe, thank you so much and welcome to our little community. Lastly, as always, a huge, massive thank you to our channel members. The support really means the world, guys, so thank you so much for sticking with me month after month. But with all of that said and done, thank you all so much for watching, and I really hope to see you next time. Peace.